What do you use social media for? Today on the Landlord Coach Daily show.
Five, four, three, two, one, zero, ignition, liftoff.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Landlord Coach Daily show. My name is Mark Dolfini, your host and Landlord Coach. It's really nice to see you today. I hope you're having an awesome day. You know, if we're that much closer to the weekend, it's Thursday. Like, I don't know, the weather's starting to get better. It's starting to get green outside, except for you people up in Minnesota. I think the snow is probably going to melt in another 3 months for you guys. Sorry. But, anyway, kidding aside, I've actually been up to Minnesota a while back to visit some good friends. And yeah, it's pretty cool up there, but it's probably still pretty cold. I mean, what does it get? Like 50 up there this time of year, maybe? Anyway, all right. So today we're going to be talking about what do you use social media for? And obviously, I have a bent on real estate and on education and just sharing things. I mean, this is kind of a lens that I look through that's really going to be interesting in terms of how other people respond to this, because some people use it for lots of reasons uh, that are pretty self-serving, and myself included. I mean, I go on there because I enjoy staying connected to people, and I enjoy doing this show, even though I get quite a few people who respond to me on various topics, and some people want to start an argument, some people want to start a dialogue or a conversation or whatever it is. I just enjoy doing this, right? I really truly do. It's certainly not for the millions of dollars I make for doing it. I actually get zero from it, but I like having the discussion and the dialogue with people that these shows generate. So to me, social media serves a couple of different purposes for me. Um, I know that, I get a lot of friend requests throughout the week, and I know it drives my bride crazy, but, I get a lot of friend requests, but every single friend request, every single one that I do accept, I always initiate a conversation with them on Messenger and say, hey, thanks for reaching out. Have we met? Now, most of the people that I am seeing, usually I'll try to vet their profile a little bit just to see, that they're not, some obviously scam profile or whatever, but make sure that they're at least a human being. But the interesting thing that I have noticed, and I'm very consistent on reaching out to those individuals, and I'm also pretty quick to cut them off if they look like they're just friend collectors. And I have a lot of friends on my profile. I'm not gonna, especially on Facebook. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't have a ton of followers just yet. But to me, the Facebook things, there's a lot of people in different contexts that are friends of mine, and it's pretty cool. And that's the one thing I get from social media, because especially my Facebook account, there's lots of people from various different contexts in my life that I get to stay connected to on one platform, and they get to see what I'm doing, and I get to see what they're doing, and every now and again, I'm thinking, hey, so and so, I wonder how they're doing, and maybe just pop up and look on their profile and see what's latest with them. But that to me is just how my brain works. So I really do enjoy it for that aspect. And I do, as it relates to Landlord Coach and the inner circle coaching that I do get a lot of people that reach out to me for business. So yes, it also serves that purpose for me as well. But I also love what I do. I really enjoy coaching. I really enjoy teaching, and that's something for me that it checks that box for me, right? And of course you're going to get the trolls that are going to always beat you up, but whatever. I mean, you have to develop a thick skin if you're going to do this sort of thing. But it's really interesting that how many people that they say, and I'll get this fairly often, which is kind of funny. Um, I'll have people that'll reach out to me and say, "Oh, well, I use social media for networking," and I'm like, "Interesting." So I'm like, "How's that working for you? Like, how do you use it for networking?" And really, it's I get I would say probably, and I don't, these are made up numbers, but I would say roughly half the time for people who are actually doing this for networking, that I never ever hear from them again after that initial contact, which is pretty funny to me, because if you're doing that to network, then why were you taking the time to reach out anyway? Or is this truly just collecting names from people that will, that will accept. Because if that's the case, I mean, you could easily build a profile of 5,000 people pretty quickly, which obviously, if you didn't know that, that's where Facebook caps you out. But, you could build a list of 5,000 people very, very quickly that were absolutely not engaged with you whatsoever, just because they're accepting the friend request. So I always reach out to that, to people, and I will very consistently reach out to other people on my profile. So again, if someone friend requests me or whatever else they have going on, we'll engage in conversation, but I will follow back up with them down the road. I may see them on the feed. I may see something else, and I was like, hey, you know what? I remember that guy, and I'll look at the conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, they reached out to me 3 weeks ago. They're a real estate guy. Hey, saw you're in my feed. How you doing? And I did that today, actually. So it was interesting to me, and I was actually going to do this again, but it was just funny because one of the conversations was like this guy was super annoyed with me. Like, what do you want? And I'm like, uh, I just was curious what you had going on, man. Like, in what it is that you do. And that's okay. Like, he was annoyed with me, and we clearly were not on the same page, and that's all right. Maybe he's just having a bad day, but that's fine. But it's just really interesting to me that people who are reaching out for the purpose of networking don't actually network. And when, I mean, network actually takes engagement. And that's what I think what social media has made people very antisocial. And that's sad because I think we're forgetting the fact that there's another human being on the other side of that phone or the other side of that computer that, and maybe they're going through something. Maybe they don't have time to have the connection, at that moment in time, which I think is also interesting because now that you can see the little chat bubble move up and down in Messenger, if you're not interested in engaging, then why did you ever send the friend request in the first place if that's really not what you're interested in doing? If that's not really if you're not, hey, look, I'm not really interested in engaging or whatever. But I think that's really interesting that it's like you go to a networking event, and let's pretend that we put this into the real world. It's like going to a networking event and standing in the corner, like facing the corner, right? Where everybody else is doing their thing, and people come up to network with you, and you're like, I'm too busy. I'm not even going to, or it's not like you even say anything. You just stand with your face in the corner, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And they know they can hear you because they see you blinking, but you don't even engage with them. And I really do see it that way. Obviously I don't know what that person's doing in that moment in time. Maybe they're driving, maybe they're getting ready to walk into a meeting and they don't have time to engage, and then of course they get busy and they forget to message back. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about overall, people reaching out to say that they're going to to use this for networking, but they don't actually network. So I'm really interested, maybe post this in the comments. What do you, if you use social media for networking, what do you do to network with them? What do you do to engage with your clients or the people that you're reaching out to? I'm just really curious. I'm genuinely curious because I know how I do it. Sometimes it's not always met with positive. People are like, "What are you doing? Why are you annoying me?" I'm like, "Hey, you're sending me the friend request. I was just curious. Who are you? Right? What context do we know each other?" LinkedIn has become, and I'm telling you, it is awful on LinkedIn. And that's one of the reasons why it drives me bananas. I literally get, I don't even know, 5 or 10 emails a day in LinkedIn. Hey, like a traveling nurse, like there was a woman who sent me a friend request or a connection request on LinkedIn. And it was this young, attractive looking woman who sent me a request. And I was like, okay, hey, thanks so much for accepting my request. I offer insurance for traveling nurses. Did you read my profile? Like, let me know if you'd be interested. Why would you remotely think I was interested in that? And that's the sort of nonsense that's going on in LinkedIn, which on that side, I don't even bother engaging. I really don't. I mean, I have a profile. I get all these connection requests. I connect with them. I might do a video or two here and there in LinkedIn, but it's really sad what that's become because it used to be something much more different. Now, again, I get there's a lot of people who use LinkedIn and they use it very successfully, and that's where their avatar, that's where they visit. So their client avatars, so that's where they go, and it makes sense. Fish where the fish are, right? For me, it's just it's so aggravating to go in there and see all these messages with people who literally all they want to do is sell you something. And I thought, man, where's the human connection? Where has that gone? um, I don't know. It's just sad that I think that we're forgetting that there's human beings on the other side of the computer, on the other side of that keyboard, that maybe just, hey, how is your day going? Right? Cool. Having an awesome day. Great, man. Good for you. Well, have an awesome rest of your day. Right? Not like, hey, how's your day? And then I really don't care about the answer. Cool. Well, let me sell you something. Right? Like, how about, it was, I'm going to wrap this video up here, but it was something that Gary Vaynerchuk had said. Gary V. I'm not a big fan of his. He does say some pretty cool stuff, but he also says some stuff that's pretty, like, I don't know, like he could say it without dropping 19 f bombs along the way. And again, I'm not shy about profanity, but come on, man, like, my children listen to you. Like, I would really wish that, you didn't have to feel like you needed to feel significant by dropping f bombs every third word. But because what you do say is, pretty valid. But one of the things that people, he really called someone to task once because they were talking about social media, and he was saying that I want to have, $1 million by the time I'm 25 or something like that. And I'm not going to get this right, but he really held the person to task. Was like, screw $1 million. Why don't you try helping a million people? And if you can help a million people, the $1 million are going to come. But why are you so worried about helping, right, getting $1 million? How about providing a service? How about providing value? Well, why don't you look at that first? And I thought that was really profound, because that is so true. That, people are so worried about what they can get and not worried about what they can give. And I think if you just reached out to somebody on social media and just be social, and just say, "Hey, man, thought of you today. Hope you're doing well," and that's it, and with no expectation of anything else. And in truly, like, when I say to people, "Hey, man, if there's anything I can help you with, even if you don't think I can help you with it, chances are I know somebody that probably could." And you could reach back out and say, "Hey, man, like, I don't know if this is in your bailiwick, but maybe you could reach out. Drop me a message in Messenger. I may not be able to help you that moment." And sometimes the same thing happens to me. I'm walking into a meeting or walking into a store or getting in the car, and someone sends me a message, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll get back to them." And then it gets buried with, life and 30 other messages. But, that doesn't mean that, I mean, take ownership of that. Reach out and say, "Hey, man, what's going on? You didn't message me back." Do that. Take ownership of it. But that's what I'm saying, where, where's the social side of social media? And then sadly, I seem to think a lot of that has gone away. So, but if you ever do have a question or anything that do you think I can help you with, reach out, man. I'm happy to help you any way that I can. And whether you buy something from me or you don't, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is making sure that, I can help you the best way that I can with the tools that are in my toolbox. So don't worry. I know where to erect boundaries. And it would be pretty clear. So don't worry about, extending yourself too much, because I give a heck of a lot more than I ever expect in return. So, but that's all I have for today. I don't have any comments today, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it off there. But let me check here and see. You know what? It's really interesting that StreamYard does not allow for comments on my personal page to show up here. I'm not really sure why that is. Anyway, all right. Well, that's all I have for today, everybody. So we're heading into the weekend, and I'm gonna have a surprise for you guys next week. It's gonna be, life altering. Well, life altering for me. So anyway, I'll leave I don't want to let the kitty out of the burlap. But anyway, I will cut it off here. Please be sure to place a value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.
5.
Oops, wrong one.